an IM be recommended for children 5 through 11 years of age under an emergency use authorization. Next slide. And as a reminder, this was the work group interpretation, that the desirable consequences clearly outweigh the undesirable consequences in most settings, and that they propose to recommend the intervention. Next slide. And so the proposed vote language is that the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, acknowledging that it's 10 micrograms for this age, is recommended for children 5 through 11 years of age in the US population under the FDA's emergency use authorization. Thanks.
Sorry, I just want to confirm, have all committee members been able to join by video? All right, I think I see most of the committee members on. So the ACIP vote is up on the slide there. I'm going to ask if any of our members would like to make a motion. I think I see Dr. Cotton's hand raised. Dr. Cotton?
I'd like to make a motion to vote on this interim recommendation.
Do I have a second? Ms. Bata?
I second that motion.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the recommendation language presented to us by Dr. Oliver on the slide there. Before we move to a vote, I'm just going to ask if there's any additional questions or issues the committee would like to discuss before this vote. Okay, I'm not seeing or hearing any questions or comments people would like to make. And I would like to remind you that after the vote, please feel free to also comment on your vote if you wish to do so. So we will proceed to a vote. ACIP members, I'm going to ask you if you can please state your name, whether you have a conflict of interest, and then your vote. And today I am actually going to start with Ms. Bata because she's on the top of my screen right here. So Ms. Bata, your name, your conflict of interest, and your vote, please.
Lynn Bata, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Bell?
Bell, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Brooks?
Oliver Brooks, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Chen?
Wilbur Chen. Let me mention one perception of conflict that has come up that I just want to make sure that I mention, is that I work for an institution, the University of Maryland, Baltimore, which has a grant from Emergent Biosolutions that supports the work that I am doing to develop a Shigella vaccine. And my vote is a yes vote.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. Dr. Sineas?
Sybil Tadeas, no conflict, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Daly?
Matthew Daly, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Cotton?
Camille Cotton, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Lair?
Amy Lair, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Long?
Long, no conflict, yes.
Thank you. Ms. McNally?
Veronica McNally, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Paling?
Kathy Paling, no conflicts, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Sanchez?
Pablo Sanchez, no conflict, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Talbot?
Talbot, no conflict, yes. Dr. Lee, did we lose you?
Okay, thank you. Did you hear my vote? No, okay. Lee, no conflicts, yes. And so we have a total of 14 yeses, 0 nos, and so the motion passes, and the interim recommendation is now a recommendation by the ACIP. I would like to take a moment actually to ask if any of our committee members wish to make any additional comments about their vote or the deliberations today. Please feel free to raise your hand. Oh, Dr. Talbot, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've said this many times before, but I think it bears repeating. I think there's this impression that we aren't parents and we aren't people. And many of us today have spoken up. We have reviewed this data, and I have vaccinated my kids because I feel like it's safe. And I would not recommend something if I did not feel that way. And so I think it's really important to just reiterate what many of us have said. We are parents, and we have given this to our children because we have seen the devastation of this disease, and we've seen the disruption in our kids' lives. And we are very looking forward to moving forward.
Thank you. Ms. McNally.
I also have a child in this age group, and I am going to take my child to get this vaccine, and I have gotten my other kids vaccinated as they are in the older age group. I am really doing this to prevent number 95, the 95th death. So 94 parents have had to bury their child. 8,300 kids have been hospitalized, 1.9 million lives have been disrupted by cases, and 2,300 families have experienced a child with multiple organ failure. To say that this disease is not impacting kids is not an accurate statement, and I hope that people will understand that. I also just want to take a minute to talk to providers. If you are a provider caring for a child in this age group and you are not vaccinating this, if you are not recommending this vaccine, I just hope that you will understand the significance of that on a family and make sure that you're following the information closely. I'm very confident in our vaccine safety monitoring system, and I feel very comfortable as a parent and as the consumer representative recommending that we vaccinate in this age group. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McNally. Are there any other comments or hands raised from committee members? Dr. Brooks.
Yes, so just for a clarification, maybe to the public at large, the vote we took was based on the science and the recommendations that we personally felt brought us to this conclusion. The ACIP members have nothing to do with determinations regarding mandates or what happens once this recommendation is made. So I just want to make a clarification for those who may have some conflict in terms of, or misinformation in terms of that thought.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Any other? Oh, thank you, Dr. Bell.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to reiterate what Dr. Daly said earlier. As you've heard, we all have a lot of enthusiasm for this vaccine in this age group. But we also understand that parents have legitimate concerns and legitimate questions, and that our vote is a way of telling the American public that based on our expertise and the information that we have, we're all very enthusiastic. We've all talked about how we're getting our kids and our grandkids vaccinated. But I think another point to be made to the American public is that we do understand that people have legitimate concerns and they have lots of questions. And we really encourage people to ask their providers, to visit the CDC website, to talk to their friends, their parents, and do what they need to do to feel comfortable with their decision.
Thank you, Dr. Bell. Dr. Lear? You're still muted, Dr. Lear.
Thank you. I'd like to echo many of the comments of my colleagues. I feel that this is a safe and effective vaccine with more benefits than risk. And I'd also like to offer a formal apology to Dr. Oliver and the modelers. I was doing my math wrong, and I they are absolutely correct when they are saying the numbers, and I want to just reflect that their numbers were more accurate than my back of the envelope calculations. So please take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lear. The team here thanks you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, I don't see any additional hands raised. I just want to take a moment to thank our committee members for their incredible and ongoing service to the country. I wanted to thank all of our speakers today for the outstanding presentations, and to all of our federal colleagues and our liaisons for the supporting us with this robust discussion today. I do not see or hear any objections to adjourning today's meeting. Dr. Wharton, is there anything additional?
No, Dr. Lee, I believe we can adjourn the meeting.
Okay, wonderful. So today's ACIP meeting is now adjourned. Don't forget, we have a non-COVID ACIP meeting day tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing everybody in the morning. Have a good night, everyone.